Hi friends, Krista here. Thank you so much for stopping by Books and Jams. It is time today to talk about my 2022 reading goals. I'm so excited. If you have been around my channel for a while, it may look very familiar. I will give you a brief glance at my 2021 goals, and here are my 2022 goals. Very similar, and a lot of them are going to be the same. I have had similar goals now for a couple years. Maybe this is my third year doing my goals this way. And I really love it and it's working for me. So I'm going to keep it. There are a few changes and we'll talk about them as we go. But before I get into the nitty gritty of what my reading goals are for 2022, I just want to take a moment to say reading goals are for fun only. I refuse to allow reading goals to bring any stress or pressure or dictate what I'm reading. I think that they're for fun. There's no consequences if they don't get accomplished. I do not set a numeric goal. I mean, I do put one on Goodreads, but I honestly don't pay attention to it at all. It doesn't matter how many books I'm reading. Reading is a hobby for me, and I want it to stay that way. I read for enjoyment, for entertainment, occasionally for education as well, to learn and grow. But reading is my hobby. It is for fun, purely. So while I set reading goals, because I am a list maker, I am a goal maker, I love a challenge, that's fun for me. But I know I have friends. Lindsay from Lindsay's Little Library just posted a video recently about why she's not doing reading goals this year. And I think that is 100% valid. She is not the only one. I know there are others of you out there that I'm like, I'm not making reading goals. That's totally fine. These are just the ones that I've chosen for myself for fun, but I do not allow any stress. There's no pressure at the end of the year to make sure I meet all my goals. I don't care. It's just for fun. My main overarching goal is to read books for my shelves. I have a lot of books that are unread on my shelves. And my main goal every year is to be reading mainly the books for my shelves. Yes, I still shop at the library. I shop at the library. I will occasionally get books from thrift stores, things like that. But my main purpose in these goals is to be reading books for my shelves. And so all of the goals that I have, except for two, are in order to read more books off of my shelves. So let's just talk about the nitty gritty. And I will have some further videos about at least two of these books, or two of these goals. So the first goal that I have, number one, is to read 12 Book of the Month books. I have a shelf over there. Up on the top, it's jam-packed full with Book of the Month books. I have been a subscriber to Book of the Month for 2+ years, and I have been working with them for the last couple of months. They've been sponsoring videos and sending me books, and I'm thrilled to be working with them because I love Book of the Month. So I'm not choosing specific books I want to read for this goal. I just want to read 12 of them. Last year, I had 10 that I wanted to read, and I think I completed 16. I read 16 before the end of the year. So I figured 12 is about one a month. It is one a month, 12 months, 12 books. I am not adding a book of the month on purpose to my TBR each month in order to meet that goal. I'm just hopeful that by the end of the year, I will have read at least 12 of my books off of my book of the month shelf. My second goal. This is one that I will have another video for soon. My second goal is to read 20 series. That is not complete 20 series, but it's to read 20 books that are in a series, whether I'm starting a new series or working on a series that I already have going. And I do have pages. I will be doing a flip through of what I have set up in my journal, so I'm not spending time on that today, but I do have quite a few series that I'm currently in the middle of. And on my recommendations card that you guys suggested to me, there are quite a few series starters, but I would like to read 20 books that are a part of series. That was a goal for last year. I did complete that. We will be talking about the details of that in a later video as far as what series I'm in the middle of, what series I started and read in 2021. We'll talk more about series soon, but that is one of my goals. Read 20 books that are a part of series. I should be able to do that. My third goal I would like to accomplish in 2022 is to increase my Netgalley percent. Netgalley is another thing that we're going to be talking about in a separate video. I'll let you know what's on my shelf, how I've been doing, how I did in 2021. But this was not an official goal in 2021, but I'm making it an official goal for 2022. I have signed up to be a reviewer on Netgalley, which means I can request books before their publication date, and I am occasionally approved to receive books, e-copies of books, e-galleys for books. I am thankful always to be approved for these books, and sadly, at the beginning of 2021, my score, it's not technically a score, they do recommend that your percentage or the books that you've received and the number that you've reviewed. So that percentage or ratio should be hopefully above 80%. At the start of 2021, my score was maybe, I forget what it was exactly, 17 or 18%. It was drastically low, which was really sad. I had signed up for Netgalley maybe in 2017, I think, didn't use it very much for a couple of years. And then this past year, I've been very intentional about reading books from Netgalley, and we'll talk more about that. But currently, I still have, I think, 3 more reviews to write of books that I've read in the last couple of months that I haven't written out the reviews for. But currently, my percentage is 30. So I've almost doubled. It was higher than 30, but I requested all my anticipated reads coming up in 2022. So I have a lot more books on my shelf now. So it has gone back down a little bit, but I have 3 more reviews to write, so it will go up again. The goal is, so at the end of the year, at the end of December, I will put my starting percentage there, and all my goal is to increase it throughout the year. Ideally, like, I'm not putting this as my goal, but ideally I'd like to be above 50% by the end of the year. That would be awesome. Even higher if possible. If I keep making it a priority, I should easily be able to get there. And in connection to this goal, but not an official written down goal, is I would like to read from my Kindle a little bit more, potentially 1 a month ebook. That will help me to stay on top of my Netgalley. I'm in the back of my mind, I would like to read like the books that are coming out in January. I would like to read them as close to the month that they're coming out as possible. That's the goal. Like, that's the intention with Netgalley, that you're reading books very close to their publication date so you can spread the news about them, spread your reviews, let people know what you think. Ideally, that's what I'll be doing, especially because most of the books that I'm getting approved for and requesting are books that are on my anticipated reads lists anyway. So I want to be reading those books anyway because I'm anticipating them. I'm excited for them. So the goal is by the end of the year to be reading the books as they come out, or the month that they're coming out, read more on my Kindle, which I don't really use that much at all, but mainly increase that Netgalley percentage. That is the goal. Number 4, my 4th reading goal is to read 12 of my Christmas exchange books. On the shelf behind me, actually above as well, on those 2 shelves are all books that I have received from Sarah, Lindsay, and Amanda, the 3 friends who I do a Christmas book exchange with. Hopefully you have watched and enjoyed those videos over the last couple of years. I have a lot of books now from them that I'm very, very eager to read. Some of them even you guys have recommended to me for my cart this year. I mean, I hope that I can read more than 12, but I'm keeping it simple, keeping it clear. I would like to read 12 books from my Christmas book exchange. I have not done that in past years. I have not quite read 12, but I do have a page in here that I will share as well as I do my flip through so you get a better look at it. But these are the books from 2019 from Sarah and Lindsay, the books from 2020 from Sarah and Lindsay, and then this year from Sarah, Lindsay, and Amanda. So quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I mean, from 2019 and 2020, I've only read 16 total, which is quite sad. So I would like to add 12 books read, checked off on this page by the end of 2022. It's doable. It's doable. I just need to prioritize it. The next 2 goals I have already talked about in a video. So the 4 new authors, every year for the past couple of years, I have chosen some authors where I own multiple books from them on my shelves, and I want to prioritize reading at least one of those books. So the 4 authors this year are Billy Coffey, Heather Gutenkopf, Jennifer Robson, and Jennifer Chiaverini. I would like to read at least one book from each of those 4 authors. I own 3 or more books from each of them, and yet haven't read any yet. So that's sad. I would like to rectify that by reading at least one book from each of those authors. Number 6, I would like to read all of my owned Catherine Ray books. So I own 7 books by Catherine Ray, and I did include The London House. I don't own that one yet, but I probably will by the end of the year. And I really want to read it. That's on my anticipated reads list for the winter that I've already filmed and shared with you. So the 8 books that I own, or the 7 books that I own from Catherine Ray are Dear Mr. Knightley, Lizzie and Jane, The Bronte Plot, The Austen Escape, Portrait of Emily Price, Of Literature and Lattes, and The Printed Letter Bookshop. So I have already read Dear Mr. Knightley, Lizzie and Jane, and The Austen Escape, I think, and The Bronte Plot, possibly. But I don't remember them. It's been more than 4 or 5 years. I would like to reread those, but the priority is the ones I haven't yet read. The final goal. The final goal that I have is a bit of a challenge for me, but I think it's possible. I saw a couple people, I think it was Tia, who doesn't want to buy any books throughout the whole year, and I just can't do that. But I would like to have 6 months of the year where I don't buy any books. So I just put out one little square for each month of the year. And of the 12 months in 2022, I would like to have 6 of them where I don't buy any books. I'm not counting book of the month. So other than book of the month, I want to have 6 months where I don't shop on Book Outlet. I don't go to thrift stores. I don't go to library book sales. I don't purchase any books. I'm not including if I use store credit, if I return books that I've unhauled, and only use store credit as long as I stay under the amount that I have. So I'm not spending any money on books. I think this is good because it allows me to plan ahead. So if I know in April is when 2 libraries are having library book sales, I can use April as a buy month, and that month I'll go. If I need to go on Book Outlet and get something, if I need to go, I don't need to. I have hundreds of books on my shelves. But if I can plan ahead for books, for book shopping, but I can also try to have some months where I don't spend money on books because the goal is read books from my shelves. So those are my 7 goals for the year for 2022. I'm excited. I think it's very possible. Again, this does not dictate my reading. It does inform my reading, and often I can go back later and be like, oh, that was a book of the month, because I do a lot of mood reading. I do not set my TBR based on all of these goals all the time, but that is it. Those are my 7 goals. I think it's very doable, achievable. I like having small-ish goals that are focused and clear and fun and help with the overarching goal of reading from my shelves. I would love to talk with you about goals. I love hearing how people plan their year, what they are thinking about as far as goals or not having goals. All of it is valid, and I love hearing about it. So let's chat about goals in the comments below. What do you think about my goals? Do you think I can do it? I'm pretty sure I can do it. Again, I will have videos coming out soon about series and about Netgalley. I think those are the only 2 that I'm going to have a separate video for coming at the beginning of the year. But that is it for today. I hope that you enjoyed this. I can't wait to hear about the goals that you're planning on having or not having for the year down below. Oh, one more thing that's not an official goal. It's not going in the book. But I would like to read less this year. In 2021, I read over 200 books. It's like 203, I think is the final count. And that's a lot. And other things not suffered, but I didn't do some other things that I normally would do in a year because I spent some of that time reading. One of my non-bookish goals is to really spend some time decluttering. And I can declutter while I listen to an audiobook. So I can do some of that while I'm reading as well. But I would like to spend time exploring other hobbies, being outside more, connecting with other people more, spending more time with the Lord in devotions and worship and things like that. And that means reducing the amount of time that I spend reading. I'm excited about that. I don't know what that will look like. I'm not putting a number on it. I am not capping myself. I kind of thought at one point, maybe I will stop reading after 10 books in a month, because that's still 120 books. That's a lot of reading. But I'm not going to put a cap on it, or I'm not going to put a number on it, and we'll see how I do. I think I do better when I do when I do have some kind of a restriction or a number or a goal or a challenge specific. We're just going to see. The goal is to read less. So anyways, let's chat down in the comments about goals. Whether you have them or not, let me hear about it. I love chatting with you down in the comments as always. And thank you so much for spending time watching this video. I really appreciate you being here and commenting and liking and all of those things and subscribing. And I look forward to talking with you in another video very soon. Bye.